what we're dealing with right now isn't okay, and it's only a matter of time before, you know, we'll see some wholesale collapse, and that's going to drive change. It has to drive change. Hopefully we don't get to that point, but it's coming sooner rather than later. I grew up on the Manukau Harbour, fished out of there for decades. We used to have a little 12-foot tinny and it had no roots left in it. It leaked like a sieve, so you couldn't fish without bailing, and it was a team effort. One person bailed and the other one fished. I joined LegaSea because I had my midlife crisis early, I guess is the more honest way to answer it. I used to be the marketing manager for a company that was listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. I was very in that corporate space, and it wasn't me. I felt like a bit of a fraud. I put on a suit every day. I started as a volunteer, but I've been full-time with LegaSea for about 8 years now. Wins are probably subjective as far as LegaSea goes. The major thing that we have now is the level of understanding. You know, so we've got a really wide group of sponsors. We've got a database of people that are super passionate, and it's growing. You know, like people are caring more and more about the environment every day. People want to be able to go and make sure that their kids can go catch a feed in the future. For us, it's all about the public. So, you know, the wins that we've had are through our Kaika program, where we collect and share kaimoana with the community, and we've got fishers who want to do that. You know, we're relaunching the Free Fish Heads app because there's more people in the community or in New Zealand who need that food, and we've got fishermen who want to do the right thing. Our Fish Care program is 5 principles teaching people how to minimise the impact on the environment. So in that public space, we're getting a lot of wins, we're getting a lot of behavioural change. The more tangible wins would probably be things like catch and release fishing competitions, campaigns that we've run, getting the commercial quota of crayfish cut in the Bay of Plenty, got dredging in the Coromandel. We worked with Ngāti Hei to lay that ahui. There's a whole lot of things like that have been quite public, that have been really cool. But the other one is, it's the stuff that we've cut off at the pass. You know, like it was when there was a legislative change to remove public consultation from fisheries management decisions. You know, people don't really know that actually even happened, but we were within a whisker of being completely cut out of the whole program. And there is a need to work together. You know, actually what we've achieved with working with iwi, the rahui, the mataitai, that sort of thing, has been really successful because we've actually collaborated. And we've got to work out where those commonalities are, focus on that so that we can push forward. The relationships with the various stakeholders is always precarious. But the reality is that there's not commercial fish and non-commercial fish down there. They're the same fish population. And while we couple a single species quota management system with indiscriminate fishing techniques, this idea of maximum sustainable yield, it's just rubbish. It's never going to stack up. In my lifetime, we've seen tohiroa gone, emergency closure of scallops, crayfish are considered functionally extinct. Is wholesale change in fisheries management possible? I think the simple answer is it has to be. To get the public's buy-in, what we've got to do is convince them that those fish aren't going to be bulk harvested and exported. Until we get a government that says, no, we want to actually increase the amount of fish in the water, not being exported, it's always going to be a challenge to get the public across the line. I'm just hopeful that as a community, you know, as a country, we can actually get ahead of this. And that's ultimately what we're talking about, is if we change the fisheries management system now, it means that in the future, our kids will be able to catch fish. Yeah, and it might mean that we have to take some cuts. There might be a little bit of short-term pain to get some long-term gain. But if we could get that confirmation from the government that it's about increasing the fish populations, then I'm pretty confident people will buy into that. I'm pretty confident they'll leave the scallop dredge at home once they understand how destructive it is. You know, it will happen. It's just we need to get to it before we get to a point where we're actually facing down the barrel of ecosystem collapse. You got to subscribe. You got to know what's going on out there, guys. We send information out about, you know, localised submissions and reform issues. Obviously, we keep everybody up to date with things like when they're going to allow commercial fishing inside high protection areas, or scallop dredge surveys in the Coromandel. So we're constantly trying to keep people up to date with what's going on in their regions. But the other reality is you know, we're a not-for-profit and we need money. So if you do give a shit, if you do care about this, you know, this amazing space, help us and consider putting a bit of money on the table. It doesn't have to be much, but every cent counts right now. we have to be prepared to adopt change. Like there's nothing more clear than that.